Alright. What's going on? Gotta make sure there's no... Okay. Hey, I got a lot to talk about here. Start off with... I don't even know. 2K. I didn't even click my team. Why am I here? Didn't even mean to click this. I guess we'll start off with the game that I'm playing. 2K. Every sports game. The problem with sports games, you know, obviously you could blame the fact that they're all bad, and, you know, every year that passes, they take out stuff, and it's just so much more to be desired. You know, they do the bare minimum every year, which Call of Duty itself, I don't want to say kind of does, but, you know, Call of Duty's, it's weird. Call of Duty's got the same track record as, like, Madden and 2K, where it's, like, the same slop dog shit every year, and it's taken, like, 10-ish full titles for people to realize how sloppy, not even, like, Call of Duty, you know, started to slop it up around Advanced Warfare, I want to say. As much as I enjoyed Advanced Warfare, that's really when the slop started to kick in full force, because you had the loot boxes and stuff back then. And then, you know, like, it's not until MW 2019 where it just hits the fan. Shit literally hit the fan, and the fans spun that shit all around the room, and now you just have a room full of shit instead of a pile of it in the middle of the room. You know, that pile of shit in the middle of the room might be loot boxes from Advanced Warfare, but you can't argue that, hey, Advanced Warfare was still a fun game to play. I personally enjoyed it. Why? Because there was no hardcore SBMM like we have now, or EOMM, or skin-based matchmaking, or whatever the fuck, you know, people call it nowadays. You know, I think it's just we're getting to the point where Black Ops 6 really is just slop. You know, it's in the same... Black Ops 6 to me is mirroring NBA 2K24, which is what... Or 2K25? This is 2K25. What we're playing right now is 2K25. And I want to talk about 2K25 and how it mirrors COD. I think Black Ops 6 is substantially worse than 2K25 could have ever hoped to be completely honest with you. Because the last couple 2Ks were bad. Especially if you play 2K on PC and you don't play the online, we're going to ignore online aspects. My team has been ass for a couple years now. I exclusively play offline. I don't play online. None of that. And I know the online's even worse for 2K, especially with VC. That's one of the big reasons why I don't even play my career anymore, because you need VC to do anything. I just play my eras, and the problem is my NBA eras here. Eras, this is the first 2K game that has implemented eras. 2K24 didn't have eras. That's really the reason why I didn't buy NBA 2K24 is because it was the exact same game as 23 on PC. Exactly the same. No difference other than the roster. Literally, physically no difference. Animation-wise, everything was the same. Luckily, 2K25, PC got the next-gen version, so we have eras, and on top of that, you actually have new animations and stuff, which is kind of cool. You know, how the ball works, it's more back to physics-based instead of slightly less animation. You know, it's still an animation-based game, but not as strong. I feel like it, you know, feels more like 2K16 with how the ball feels like a physical object that, like, if it bumps off of a player's arm who goes to steal it, it will actually, you know, bump off the arm instead of just phasing through it like 2K23 felt. But, you know, it's still not a perfect game, by all means. You know, like, there's so much more they can do with 2K, Madden, NHL, and it's just a monopoly for all of those games, because all of those contracts that are signed by, you know, EA and 2K, it's just, hey, you know, like, we're the only people with the rights to make a simulation-based game, so they just have no competition. And that's called a monopoly. It's called a monopoly. Monopolies are illegal in the US, and somehow they've just fully allowed this to go through. I don't know how the US government can look past this and be like, oh yeah, here's multiple, you know, here's literally like sports, like full-on NBA, the NBA, you know, powerhouse, billion dollar company, Madden, billion dollar company, NHL, billion dollar sports company, whatever the fuck, and it's all monopolized. 2K has a monopoly on the NBA for, you know, NBA video game. And it's, well, you know, not Monopoly because other companies can make, you know, whatever non-simulation. Okay, like simulation, it's supposed to be like the real thing, real player names, etc. It's a monopoly. Madden, it's a monopoly. I don't care what the fuck you want to say. I don't care what lawyer, whatever, whoever has to say. It's a fucking monopoly. NHL, monopoly. Any sports game, monopoly. MLB, monopoly. Maybe not. I don't know who the fuck makes MLB games, because MLB was on PlayStation. It was an PlayStation exclusive for like 4 years. What kind of fucking retard said, yeah, let me sit down and make MLB a PlayStation exclusive? How brain dead can you be? Yes, baseball is not as popular as it used to be. It's declining every year. One of the least watched sports out of everything. Make it a PlayStation exclusive, yeah. What did you get hit in the head with a fucking baseball when you were 3? Anyway, Call of Duty is basically on that path where it's not a monopoly. Because, like, you make shooters and stuff, you know, basically similar to Call of Duty. And it's, nobody has. Like, literally, you could just sit down, make a game that is similar to Call of Duty, just add score streaks to it. You know, really, like, it's not that hard to take an arena-esque shooter and just add kill streaks to it. That's all you have to do, and then boom, you could, like, if XDefiant had kill streaks, I guarantee you it would undoubtedly would have been a million times more popular than Call of Duty would have been. The problem is XDefiant just didn't cater to that crowd enough. Like, XDefiant was like, we're going to cater to the Call of Duty crowd, and then proceeded to only cater to them at the base level. It doesn't help that XDefiant felt like a beta up until Season 1, up until Season 2, and then Season 2 it felt like, oh, this is how you should have released the game. Sad as it is, you know, XDefiant, underrated as hell, but definitely not overrated. A little bit underrated, but, you know, again, it's dead now. It's basically dead. It's on its last legs. It's got like a year left before it's shut down, which is upsetting, but also makes sense because I stopped playing it myself, and it's like, there's nothing to do in it. You get into a game, and it's like, fuck comp, 4 versus 4 comp, fuck that. Comp is stupid. You know, people that actually enjoy the game, who are huge Call of Duty fans, don't want to deal with, like, abilities, which I'm okay with the abilities. I think the abilities are fine in XDefiant, but, like, for real COD fans, my one friend who basically exclusively plays COD, he's like, I hate the abilities. A lot of YouTubers that I watch who played, you know, were old heads, not old heads, but, like, old school, you know, they played COD back in the heyday, Black Ops 2, MW2, like I did. They also really didn't like the abilities, and they wished for score streaks. That's something that I also wish for. Score streaks, I would love to be able to, even a nuke. You know, I drop a 30-0, I can get a nuke in the match. That, like, because at least that's something I could grind for. You know, it's like a Predator missile, whatever. And, you know, people might not like kill streaks and stuff, but whatever. I just think the monotonous grind of hopping into XDefiant and just, just not having anything to do. It's like you get into a game and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? It takes 500 levels to get a single skin for my weapon. The battle pass is whatever, you know, you just buy it, and it just doesn't matter how well you perform or whatever, you just gain it over time. Like, there's no point to playing the game casually. There's nothing to gain is the problem. There's no reward system. As somebody who over the last, you know, I played a lot of TF2. I have a lot of TF2 on my channel. And as somebody who has stopped playing TF2, mostly because I realized, hey, every content update is just microtransactions. There's nothing really new to the game. It's just the same shit every year, same slop. Hey, here's more money to spend on the game. You want new items? Spend money on the game. I don't want to do that. Call of Duty's sadly gone down the same shithole where it's like, hey, and it's sad because it's not even like the same shithole where it's like, where it's like spend money to get cool shit, because Black Ops 6 has just completely killed my will to play Call of Duty. Like, I was excited for Black Ops 6. I'm like, okay, Cold War didn't have a nuke, but Black Ops 6 has the nuke in it. Oh man, I could finally grind for a nuke. I dropped a nuclear in Cold War, and the one thing that I was upset about is that I couldn't call a nuke, but now I can, and I don't even want to play the game because I'm never going to be able to drop a nuke because I average a 0.5 to a 1 KD every single fucking match I play. It's unplayable. Even if I'm sweating my ass off, I might be able to drop at most a 3 KD. It's not enjoyable. The game's not fun. I'm not trying to sit down and make Call of Duty my fucking day job. Alright? I don't care if I'm an absolute loser who does nothing with their life other than play video games. I'm not trying to make Call of Duty out of all fucking games my day job. Fuck COD. It's been shit for the last few years now. And it's just stupid. It's just stupid. You know, I'm not playing competitive. I'm not playing comp. You know, like, I just want to get into a game, drop a chopper gunner maybe, you know, have a good time. You can't even, it's difficult to even drop a chopper gunner. I've dropped, I think, one, maybe two chopper gunners ever out of my 200 plus hours of Call of Duty in game time. That's right, 200 some hours. I'm master prestige in the game. Mostly because I just sat down and decided to play zombies for 2 weeks straight without even getting Afterlife unlocked. Still haven't unlocked Afterlife. Got Dark Spine though, but didn't even get Dark Matter. It's just so shit. Like, I just couldn't stand it. After Racket got taken out, I was like, I don't want to, you know, it's like, yeah, you can sit down and play Stakeout 24/7 all day, and it's great if you're trying to get camos. But once you've actually tried to enjoy the game, to have fun with it, it is so dog shit. You know, like, all of the maps are shit. And I tried playing Nuketown a lot. So I try playing, like, I play a lot of Nuketown. That's my favorite COD map. And I'm okay. I know people, like, complain about Nuketown for some reason, even though it's literally one of the best maps to ever be created in a Call of Duty game. People have been shit-talking Nuketown, especially for Black Ops 6. I saw a couple videos where people were like, oh, Nuketown is so... Dude, Nuketown is not bad. I don't want to play the same map every Call of Duty cycle. Well, I will. Nuketown is one of the few maps where I will play every cycle. I don't give a fuck. You know, like, Nuketown is an actual good map. That's the problem, is, like, you can rely on it. And it's not just a simple, like, square, you know? It's not, like, take, like, Shipment. Like, Shipment is dog shit. Like, it's fun, but, like, it's not something that you want to play every cycle 24/7. I could play Nuketown 24/7. I can't play Shipment 24/7, especially with SBMM. You know, especially with Modern COD. MW 2019 Shipment, dog shit. MW2 Shipment, dog shit. MW3 Shipment, dog... I mean, I barely played MW3, so, you know, there's that. But, like, at least, you know... I don't know. Like, Shoot House was a good map. Like, I'd be willing to play that a lot. But, I don't know. And then we, God. Yeah, modern games. Call of Duty is just down the shitter. Useless. Dog shit ass fucking game. Literally. Just an unenjoyable fucking mess. Like, I don't know how people play it or what. I mean, I understand. Like, it's just, the problem is you have people that are like, you know, they're the casual surface level people who are basically bottom 50% of players, where the SBMM actually works to their favor. Because if you're in the bottom, like, 10% of players or whatever the fuck it is, you know, you're an absolute, I don't want to say an absolute shitter, but you're somebody who's like, whatever, you know, I'm 50 and I fucking have like 3 kids, you know, I have an actual, you know, you have an actual life, you work fucking 9 to 5, I don't know, 4 in the morning to like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. Fuck, that was a horrible pass. You know, whatever, work a bunch or do whatever, you know, you don't, you know, you're not the greatest gamer. You're not somebody who, actually has the time to sink into, you know, I don't want to say trying to get better, but it's, you know, it's whatever. Whatever, I don't know. Like, yeah, as long as you're in the bottom, like, 10, 20%, you know, your matches will be decent. So, like, other than that, you know, it's great for like 45% to under 45% of the player base, the game is, like, enjoyable. Because you're just playing against people that are bad to begin with. So it's like, oh, like, SBMM works if everybody's dog shit. Because then everybody's bad. The problem is and I say SBMM, but people are like, oh, it's EOMM, whatever the fuck it is. I'm just going to call it SBMM because that's what it's always been called. I don't know. But, like, the current SBMM system, whatever it is, in Black Ops 6, it's just, like, it's not enjoyable for anybody that's better than dog shit. I'm sorry to say it. Like, my father has never, he's never played a video game in his life. He has, like, I've gotten him to play when I was younger, you know, PlayStation 2, but, like, he doesn't play video games. Like, the closest thing he gets to a video game is a fucking slot machine, all right? And that's what Call of Duty is made for. It's made for people like him, which, yeah, like, if you were to get on a game and make an account, like, he's going to be queuing against people that barely average fucking 10 kills a game, you know? Like for an entire 10-minute match. You know, they get like a kill a minute, they're fucking crouching, they're laying down, you know, treating it like it's a mill sim, you know? And that's fine, you know, that's enjoyable, that's great, you know, those people are having a baller time. But the problem is that a large percentage of the player base isn't like that. Call of Duty isn't really that type of game, to be honest. Uh, so, like, a lot of people don't play that way, and anybody that plays it, you know, not that way. Basically, if you're averaging more than like 5 kills a game, your lobbies are going to be dog shit. Like, you're going to be put into lobbies that is just, you know, 1 KD. Like, it's awful, you know. Well, that's the problem. I guess I'll run back to shitty players. It's because if you're in a lobby where everybody can barely average 10 kills against other people who can barely average 10 kills, then that's fine because everybody's horse shit and it's like whatever. You know, it's not bad because when you get into a gunfight, it's not like you're dying to a guy with perfect aim. So you need to have perfect aim to even be on the same skill level. It's like, no, those lobbies, it's like, okay, like, nobody can land a shot. So it's more intense and it's just, you know, whatever. Whereas, like, for your average player, you're going to be getting into lobbies where people actually, you know, understand what a fucking controller is and know how to press. People can aim and move at the same time. Great way to put it. And because of that, you're going to be getting into lobbies where, like, it's shit, you know? Like, there's a difference between, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm getting into. I just hate Call of Duty, dude. I think the other problem is, you have like groups of people that are like, oh yeah, let's buy Call of Duty again, you know, for the 20th year in a row. It's the only video game we play. And you have that one person in the group who's like, I'm not really a fan of Call of Duty anymore. It's kind of ass. Because you have that one person who actually plays other games that are more, you know, that aren't Call of Duty. And maybe they play video games a little bit more than everybody else, just a slightly bit. And they realize how dog shit Call of Duty is and how awful the skill-based matchmaking is. And they go, yeah, guys, maybe we should try a different game. And then everybody goes, no, dude, Call of Duty's the best. And then, like, you feel like you're forced into buying it. That person who forces themselves to buy COD every year, even though they don't want to, you're the reason why Call of Duty is as shitty as it is. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I don't care if you're like, well, I wouldn't buy it with my friends. Fuck your friends. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, there's a different, like, if you have Game Pass, you know, get it for Game Pass, fine, get Game Pass. Stop buying, spending $70 on COD. Let the fucking, you know, I can't even say morons, you know, that's too mean because it's just people that don't know any better. That's the problem. You know, it's the same people that buy shit off Temu. Like, they don't fucking know any better. It's those type of people, you know, like, it's, oh, cheap item, whatever. You know, it's the same thing for people that buy COD every year. It's like, oh, it's another Call of Duty game. You know, they don't know any better. They don't look into anything, you know. Why is the game not as fun as it used to be? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like, they don't know any better, you know, whatever. Uh, like, yeah, I don't know. They just, they have to just stop buying the game. If you're somebody who's, like, on the fence and, you know, all of your friends buy it, fuck them, dude. Why torment yourself? That's my problem. Like, I stopped paying for Game Pass. I like, once I hit Master Prestige, once I got Darkspine, which was my goal was to get Darkspine and then play the game for fun. So, once I got Darkspine, I realized, wow, the game isn't getting better. Even when I'm using a meta weapon and actually trying, like actually sweating with a weapon that I enjoy, it's not enjoyable. The game's not enjoyable. So I just stopped paying for Game Pass. I stopped playing the game. My one friend who does play the game, he's like, oh, I'm going to play COD. I'm like, yeah, it's too bad. I don't have it, and I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to waste the money on it. It's stupid. Like, I paid for Game Pass twice, played the game, put my time in, realized, hey, it's not getting any better. I fucking hate it. Every time I get on the game, it's just an unenjoyable slop experience, waste of my time. You know, if I'm gonna spend my time playing slop, I would rather play NBA 2K because at least I could play it offline, create my own character, and not have to worry about a broken skill-based matchmaking system, you know, to fuck me over every match that I play. You know, like especially with these amazing games coming out where like you have Delta Force. Delta Force is extremely underrated currently in its current state, which is a sad thing to say because it truly is actually underrated. Uh why is music playing? The reason why music was just playing? Wonderful, wonderful. Uh yeah. Like it's stupid. I don't really know how else to describe it other than awful. What year is it? 2007. It's God, I can't even begin to describe it. I don't know, just stop playing it. Like if you're somebody who's on the fence about the game, just fucking stop. Just do something else with your money and your time other than Call of Duty. Like there are so many better games that you can get, you know, that aren't I wouldn't say necessarily competing with it, but if you're somebody like myself who just wants to have fun when playing games, look elsewhere. You know, you can get the satisfaction that Call of Duty used to give you, where it's like, oh, I want to get a kill streak. I'm gonna get a bunch of kills and get a kill streak and call in a kill streak. You can get that from like Delta Force. Delta Force has it's more of a point. It's not really kill streaks. It's a score streak system, but like it's not dog shit. Like you can call in vehicles. So like with a certain amount of points, you can call in a vehicle, and you could call in like a tank. So a tank is going to cost more points than say an ATV, but you can call in a tank. They also have like a missile barrage, which isn't super strong, but it's great for, you know, trying to get enemies away from an area or, you know, you're able to attack and whatever. Then they have like a nuke type. It's a kind of like a predator missile slash nuke where like you call it in and like anybody within a large area is going to get absolutely blasted and you can kill like 20 plus people with it. It's insane. Uh, just Call of Duty, isn't it? Like, just play something else. I don't care. That's the biggest problem. And hey, if you don't, I'm not saying everybody has to stop. Like, you know, if you want to play COD every year, fine by me. You know, I'm not saying I need the franchise to die. I'm just saying that it's dead to me. You know, I think that's the problem is you have so many people like Blame Truth, you know, and all these other YouTube content creators constantly making videos like Blame Truth, dude. I no hate, but I watch his video, I click on a video, and it's him screaming for 20 minutes straight. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just skip through the video and see the parts that like the title is actually about. Oh, okay, here's a little post, and then whatever. I get off the video. Like, it was funny in the beginning, and now it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, I was exactly the same with Team Fortress 2, where I was like, I just complained about the game in like half my videos. Yeah, complained about the content and how the game wasn't getting content and like how it was just every update was just spend money on the game. And people would shit talk me in the comments about that until another creator talked about how every update is just spending money and then they go, oh, bravo, 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 you're right. Like, okay, okay, go fuck yourself, I guess. But that, you know, you just stop playing the games. Like, okay, I'm just gonna stop playing it then. Whatever. Okay. You know, like if people want to listen to you, they can. If people don't want to, they don't have to. Obviously, you know, there's a difference between having YouTube be your only source of income and basically being forced, like obviously Blame Truth, you know, bro's probably forced into making videos like that where it's like, give me the clicks, I need the views, I need to make money, I need to eat. So, you know, I can't really hate him for it. You know, it's like, hey, whatever gets you the money to be able to afford whatever. Uh, but like I just stopped playing it. I'm not making money off YouTube. I wasn't making money off Team Fortress 2. I was getting better views than I was from other videos from it, but it's like, what's the fucking point if I don't enjoy the game? What's the point of making a video when I get on and I fucking want to like jump out a window 5 minutes into a match because I get bored and then I'm like, there's nothing to fucking do because I've done it all already. There's no new content. Like the worst part about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was that I I we're just gonna spectate this game. The worst part about Black Ops 6 was that I played the beta, and I was like, okay, the beta's kind of ass. Like, you can tell that the SBMM in the beta was bad. Like, bad, bad, bad. Like, the worst it's ever been in any COD to date. Uh, it was rough, especially with the map selection. The map selection did not help. Horrific maps, on top of horrific SBMM. But I still played it. And then it ended. And then they released um, the first trailer for the multiplayer trailer. Like, you know, before the game launches, they released the multiplayer trailer. And I watched it. And I genuinely was upset. It looked like Warzone. The game looked like Warzone. What the fuck is this camera perspective? Yeah. Yeah, like like that's what killed it for me initially. And I told that to my friend. He's like, "Oh, no way, you're actually hating the game before it's even out." And I was like, "Dude, I don't know. That trailer, it just like it something about it. I just watched it and I was like, this looks like every other Call of Duty. Like they talked about like, oh, this is gonna be different. There's gonna be the Omni movement is gonna change everything. And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, this looks like Warzone. This looks like Modern Warfare 2019. It looks like Cold War. It just looks like shit. It looks like slop. It looks like Warzone. It looks like the fucking same Call of Duty that released fucking 5 years ago. And like some people might say the same about oh well, like the older Call of Duties on the older engine all look the same, but like not really. Like they're like you can tell the difference between MW3 and Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Like you can tell like there's strong differences between the game. Whereas like nowadays, like Cold War and MW 2019, it's like the only difference you got is the Omni movement. Like Black Ops 6, that's the only difference between Black Ops 6 and all the next-gen CODs that came before it is, like, Omni Movement. The Omni Movement's dog shit. It fucking sucks. I'm gonna be real. I don't, like, I want to like it. My one friend was like, oh, here you go, complaining about the movement. And I was like, dude, I like the idea of Omni Movement. Omni Movement is the coolest stuff ever. They have it in, I think, Max Payne, I'm pretty sure. And, like, extra movement can work. Take a look at Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 added sliding. Officially, you know, Borderlands 2, you know, you could add sliding to it, but it was through a mod. Whereas like Borderlands 3 has sliding and it works. Like games can add movement tech that is enjoyable. The problem is you have a hardcore, and I say hardcore because everybody is sweaty that plays Call of Duty now. You have a hardcore FPS shooter. You have to be careful when you're implementing shit. And Call of Duty is not being careful. They stopped being careful a long time ago. When MW 2019 launched, they stopped being careful. Uh, I mean, as if they were always careful to begin with, to be honest. But, like, it's bad. Like, you can tell that the Omni movement was only used in, like, the campaign or, like, specific, you know, slow-ass, like, you know, like the devs are dog shit at COD. Let's be real. The devs are bottom 5% players, so they probably get into lobbies and like, whoa, this Omni movement is so sick. Yet when you put it in the hands of anybody that has played even 10 hours of Call of Duty, it is it is a mess. It is too fast. There are too many ways where you can just get into weird, slimy angle positions. It is so fucking ridiculously retarded. Omni movement on its own is cool as fuck. In the campaign, it's cool as fuck. And zombies, it's cool as fuck. And then you add, I mean, it doesn't really make huge differences gameplay wise, to be completely honest. But like, God, the problem with it in multiplayer, and I've talked about this to my friend, is that if you're, it makes the controller and keyboard and mouse gap gigantic. And what I mean by that is that it makes it so you basically need a controller to compete at a I don't want to say no. You are at a disadvantage if you're on keyboard and mouse, because controller has aim assist. They've always had aim assist, and people are going to be like, "Oh, you're one of those aim assist complainers." I'm not. It's definitely gotten worse over the years. It's definitely gotten stronger, but you take a controller that has aim assist, and then you add omni movement. And here's the problem with omni movement: a lot of the motions that happen are entirely unskill based. So your character leans in in Black Ops 6. Like, I'm talking leans left and right. You don't know this because your view angle never changes. The character leans, yet the screen always stays level, as if you're looking straight forward. And leaning is supposed to be a bind on its own. Every game that has leaning that isn't Call of Duty, and actually, that's wrong. Every game that has had leaning, including old Call of Duties, have had leaning bind to a button and your screen moved with it. One of the biggest games that uses leaning as a core mechanic that most people will know of is Rainbow Six Siege. You can lean in that game, and your entire screen tilts, and you can get really nice angles. Leaning is a huge power move. What else has leaning? Fucking Delta Force also has leaning. But, Rainbow Six, it's a huge part of it. Like leaning, it basically makes it so you can only see a portion of your person instead of the full body. You don't have to peek out. Black Ops 6 said, let's make it entirely skillless and make it so your character leans on their own. You can't control which way you lean, left or right. The character does it automatically, which, that was a nasty dunk, which is entirely broken. Because instead of having it bound to a button and making it an actual skillful action that you actually have to learn, like, okay, I should lean here, I'm not going to lean here, I'm going to lean left, lean right, making it an actual skill is different than letting the system do it for you. Because if the leaning isn't done by a button and it's done automatically, well, you have a bit of a problem where you can break the system. Because a lot of people, what they will do is, you'll see people lean spam, like people would do this in PUBG, where they would lean left and right to try to, like, dodge bullets, lean left and right to try to make it harder to hit their head. And that's something you use leaning to your advantage. A lot of people will lean, and they spam left and right to try to, move their head hitbox left and right. But because it's automatic in Black Ops 6, and because it doesn't tilt your screen, and, you have to, like, realign almost, it's like, oh, now my screen's sideways. Now, your character just does it on their own. When you're, like, ADSing, or when you're moving left and right, as long as you're ADS'd. So you can imagine being somebody who's on keyboard and mouse, no aim assist, aiming at somebody, and they're ADSing back at you. And not only do they have the ability to sprint left and right, sprint backwards, forward, dive while shooting, they also lean rapidly whenever they move left or right. And it's not just like, oh, they're, like, fully walking right and then they lean. No, it's the moment they move the stick from one side to the other, their character leans. So if somebody's moving left, right, left, right, left, right, just left, right constantly, they're leaning rapidly left and right. Imagine trying to track somebody's fucking head when they are rapidly leaning left and right, on top of them having fucking aim assist. It is so difficult. It's not that difficult, but it's the most annoying fucking shit ever. All right? As a PC player, it just gives controllers such a huge fucking advantage on top of already them having aim assist. Because you have aim assist, well, guess what? There's no skill. There's no skill in having to aim, because it's like, oh, that person's moving their head left and right, I'm going to have to aim at that. Well, you have aim assist. So guess what? The person, if you're a PC player trying to move left and right, well, it doesn't matter, because their aim assist is just going to counteract that. Yeah, so it basically just, like, it's a system that hurts only, it's basically omni movement, at least the leaning. It just hurts only keyboard and mouse players or people that have aim assist off. It's actually fucking crazy. I don't want to talk about COD anymore. I fucking can't. It's, I hate it. It's so dog shit. Yeah, so... Call of Duty is, there's a lot more around with the game. You know, the fact that every new content drop is basically just buy skins, buy battle pass, buy that pass. And it's upsetting because a lot of the skins are really cool. But I feel like I get fucked over. You know, like I bought the battle pass. Obviously I completed it, but I bought the battle pass. And there's there's that other pass, the gold pass or whatever the fuck it is, the black cell pass, that's what it's called. And a lot of the skins, they basically have two versions of like half the skins. So half the battle pass, you know, items and stuff have two versions. They have the normal battle pass version, and then they have the black cell version. And the black cell version looks really cool, and it's got this gold aesthetic, and it's like fire and flames, but you can't get it unless you buy the black cell version. And it's basically the same problem that I had with X Defiant, where I felt like instead of adding cool items to the battle pass, they said, "Oh, take them out of the battle pass and make them pay extra." You know, and that was the problem where people brought up with battle passes in the beginning, where they're like, "Oh, you know, battle passes make it so here's things that," or DLC people will bring it up with, where it's like, "Oh, let's take a full-fledged game and then rip out a bunch of stuff and include it as DLC." That's basically what battle passes have become. Or not necessarily battle passes, but that's what every other bundle has become. It's like, "Oh, here's a battle pass with a bunch of cool stuff in it." Like you look at the OG battle pass system, and I think of Fortnite. Fortnite's first few battle passes were amazing because yes, they had the item shop also, but the battle pass actually had cool skins in it. You know, remember when they had the Reaper skin, where it was like the knockoff John Wick skin? Like that battle pass was actually worth it. You got cool stuff from it. You know, you got a cool skin from it that was worth it. You got other cool skins from the past. You got other things from it that, you know, made it feel worth it. It wasn't like, oh, you look in the shop and it's like that skin's really cool. Like no, it was like you felt like you got, you know, your money's worth. Whereas Call of Duty, especially nowadays, it's like originally, let's be honest, the Call of Duty Battle Pass is straight dog shit. It was never worth it. Bro just pulled up and fucking bricked it so hard. Why didn't he just go in for the whatever? Um, so you know, the Call of Duty Battle Pass was always dog shit to me. I felt like it felt like always a scam because half the 20% of the items were fucking emblems. Here's the problem with Call of Duty's microtransactions. Half the items you get are emblems, player cards. Like, okay, emblems, fucking stupid. Yeah, let's pay for an emblem. It doesn't mean anything. Emblems in the past actually meant something because you would get them from leveling up, or maybe in Modern Warfare 2 you could get those gold emblems where you call in 100 UAVs or 100 chopper gunners and you get this really cool gold one to show how much you've played and to show your skill level. Nowadays, you just pay for it. So emblems mean fuck all, it means nothing. Same thing with player cards. Really, you know, Black Ops has done the best with player cards, I felt like, where you actually get cool player cards. But other than the nuclear player cards, they mean nothing. And the problem with Black Ops 6 is I see people with nuclear player cards constantly. So I guess there's a glitch or something that was going on, but like it's uh bro, what the fuck? Bro's a 99 overall and can't he's dog shit. Um it's pretty ass. You know, like it feels like a waste of money. Yeah, let me get this cool player card from the battle pass that definitely not everybody else in the game can easily get by spending money or simply owning the battle pass. That's so unique. Same thing with the emblems. No matter how cool the emblem is, it's gonna feel like a fucking dog shit common because everybody else can easily get it if they don't already have it, or everybody else already has it. Uh, you know. Same thing with the skins. It's just a lot of the time I'll be like, especially with the black cell, where it's like another page. It's like, oh, here's an operator skin, and here's the black cell version. Doesn't the black cell version look so much cooler? If only you had the black cell version, you could have the cooler version of the skin unlocked. Like, okay, like it just feels like they're cramming it down your throat. And then the microtransactions, it just like, you know, you look at the skins in the battle pass, and then you look at the skins that they sell in the shop, and it's like, you know, you'll see a skin in the battle pass and it's just like the color blue, but like battle scarred. And then like the fucking shop has like some like cool ass, you know, really nice designed skin, and it's like you can put all this effort into like the $20 to $30 bundle skin, but you can't put effort into the fucking battle pass that I paid for. Like, eh, you know, this is the battle pass that's supposed to last the season, that's supposed to get cool shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just retarded, I guess. Upsetting. One of the few times, you know. God, I hate the Call of Duty Battle Pass so fucking much. Everything about COD is so dog shit nowadays. I don't even have to say anything about the game. I could literally just sit here and say, Call of Duty is dog shit. Think about everything that's dog shit, and no matter who you are, you can easily think of something that you dislike. Even if you're somebody that enjoys Call of Duty, you can probably still think of something that you dislike. That's how dog shit the game is. I don't even have to say anything. I can just sit there and be like, damn, Call of Duty sucks. And then everybody else can go, yeah, and just sit there and put their hand in their face and just be like, yeah, this is shit. Like, everybody will have, and the best part about it is everybody will have a different, a, not a, I don't want to say opinion, but like statement on what they don't like about the game. Because it's not even opinion anymore. It's just like, the difference between, you know, it's like, it's factual because it's like, I don't like the shop, you know, I don't like how they do the skins and stuff. Well, it's true. You could go into the shop and look at the $40 fucking bundle, that how the shit works. You know, it's less of a, you know, the Call of Duty hate has become way less of an opinion nowadays than it ever was before. You know, it's just truth. If you're somebody that likes Call of Duty, there's something wrong with you. I think it's gotten to that point where like you're you're uh you're in the minority if you enjoy Call of Duty nowadays, which is upsetting to say. Because even Advanced Warfare was kind of enjoyable, you know? I would still, you know, you're still a little bit in minority, you know? You know, Advanced Warfare had a lot of hate. You know, Infinite Warfare, that's when everybody hated COD, you know? Nobody fucking touched that. But, like, dude, Advanced Warfare blows. Not Advanced Warfare, fucking modern COD. Just Black Ops 6 is so bad. The maps don't help. And the worst part is Cold War was like a kind of a breath of fresh air from MW 2019. MW 2019 felt super sweaty, you know. My one friend really liked it. He liked it more than Cold War. He didn't like Cold War. I liked Cold War way more personally. I think Cold War was way better. But the maps were a lot better. The spawns were a lot better. Man, what a letdown Black Ops 6 was. I was, you know, because I enjoyed Cold War, and then I played it, and I'm like, the gameplay felt like MW 2019 with like the KDs where it was like a 1 KD every match, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be awful, isn't it? And it was. It became awful. The only reason why I played it as much as I did was because of I don't know, that's the Kings. It's bad. I'm fucking done. I can't keep talking about this shit, bro.